Good day, everyone! We all heard of some prominent physicists like Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton. The majority are familiar with the names of outstanding composers such as Bach, Brahms, and Beethoven. But if I show you pictures of the most influential linguists who contributed to the worldwide language I am utilizing at this moment, will you be able to tell me their names? Important people in linguistics have not quite infiltrated the mainstream in the way that they have in hard sciences and music. This list will give you a crash course in big-name linguists and the ideas they had which changed the field of linguistics forever. Beginning with Aristotle.
Aristotle's extraordinary contribution in the study of language, which is not frequently spoken of, is the fact that he demythologized language. Aristotle acknowledges and perceives language not as a magical instrument to cast spells, entrance people, and call up past, present, and future spirits, but as an object of rational inquiry. Rational inquiry is a means of expressing and communicating thoughts about anything in the world. It is the semiotic triangle of language as the expression of thoughts that are intentionally related to elements in the world. In a more rational sense, Aristotle's contribution to the development of linguistics is in large part due to his theory of truth. According to him, truth and falsity are properties of either thoughts or sentences.
Next, we have Albert Lowe. Lowe's grammar is the basis and source of several prescriptive shibboleths that are studied in schools and ascertained him as the first of a long line of usage commentators who judge the English language in addition to explaining it. An example of both is one of his footnotes, whose is by some authors made the possessive case of which and applied to things as well as persons, I think improperly. His most distinguished contribution to the study of grammar may have been his tentative suggestion that sentences ending with a preposition, such as "What did you ask for?" are inappropriate in formal writing.
Another linguist is Benjamin Worf. Benjamin Worf is a prominent name in the fields of linguistics and psychology. In accordance with his real-world knowledge of various languages and culture and his work with Sapir, Worf formulated the principle of linguistic relativity, which was also called the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. According to this principle, the way we suppose the word is molded by the structure of our native language. Extensively varied languages can lead to equally substantial differences in thoughts and experiences.
Next, we have Daniel Jones. Jones' first books comprise incredibly noteworthy surveys of English phonetics and work on English intonation. He also generated significant lexicographical work in the form of pronunciation dictionaries. Jones' commencing research on non-European languages accentuated groundbreaking descriptions of tone languages. In 1917, he came to be the first Western linguist to utilize and promulgate the word phoneme. And in his later years, he dedicated much time to sharpening his views on the concept of the phoneme.
We also have the linguist Ferdinand de Saussure. He asserted that spoken language comprises the communication of concepts using sound images from the speaker to the listener. Language is a product of the speaker's communication of signs to the listener. Saussure says that a linguistic sign is a combination of a concept and a sound image. The concept is what is signified, and the sound image is the signifier. The combination of the signifier and the signified is arbitrary. Any sound image can be conceivably used to signify a particular concept.
Let us now proceed with Umberto Eco. Due to the fact that the field of semiotics covers quite a diversity of signs, Umberto Eco has formulated a division in which he differentiates between artificial and natural signs. Natural science are divided into two classes. The first one is science identified with natural events or things. A very good example for this is the position of the sun. And the other signs are signs that are unintentionally produced by a human agent. For instance, a rash indicating chickenpox. This class encompasses numerous subclasses. A comparable division is created for artificial signs which are either intentionally produced to signify or intentionally produced as a primary function.
We also have Roman Jacobson. His model of the functions of language distinguishes 6 elements that are necessary for communication to occur. First is context. Second is the addresser or the sender. Third is the addressee, the receiver. Fourth is the contact. Fifth is the common code, and the last one is message. Each factor is the focal point of a relation or function that operates between the message and the factor. The 6 communication functions according to which an effective act of verbal communication can be defined encompasses referential, phatic, metalingual, poetic, emotive, and conative function.
Let us talk about the only female linguist for today's discussion, who was known by the name Robin Lakoff. Lakoff is a feminist linguist at the University of California who spread the foundations for methodical and academic research on the subject of women's language. Her most important works, Language and Women's Place and Women's Language, propelled light upon the possibility of discrimination through language use. A relatively significant example for such a case might be Lakoff's observation of the way how women see themselves and which role they are holding within American society. Thus, Lakoff does not only evaluate the specific language utilized by women, but also the language used about women.
Lastly, we have the influential Noam Chomsky. Chomsky is probably the best known name on this list, and he is famous for many things, but within the realm of linguistics, he is most famous for his idea of universal grammar, which possesses that all language have the same underlying structure and simply use different words and sounds on the surface. Humans, Chomsky claims, are biologically equipped with a language acquisition device, or LAD, which endows us with the innate ability to learn the language.
Nowadays, linguistics is a rich field with many subdivisions: sociolinguistics, psycholinguistics, neurolinguistics, and there are too many brilliant minds in each field to fit in this presentation. Still, these 9 prominent figures are a good starting point if you're looking to get a good sense of who the major players are. And if you're looking to amp up your linguistic skills, one of the best ways to do so is to take advantage of your brain's aptitude for learning languages and familiarize yourself with an entirely new syntax. Indeed, learning a foreign language is not only beneficial from a linguistic standpoint, but also is a great way to open the door to new personal and professional opportunities. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you learned something today. Goodbye!